welcome to Noel's World of Whiskey on this cold, wet, snowy day outside, first day of the year here in Vancouver Island. We got golf balls of snow. It's that wet, heavy stuff mixed with the rain. So cold and damp, and of course that's why I'm inside. And I am focused today on port finished whiskeys, and part of my focus is what is a good value for a whiskey that is still decent quality and accessible, available, easy to get a hold of. So I have a lot of different port whiskeys. Not all of them are easy to get a hold of, and I have more in the cupboard. I went after whiskeys that I did a bit of research. I kind of funneled it down what I saw online that was being reviewed. Whiskeys that seemed rather popular, at least they were available. And I kind of came up with these whiskeys here. All but one of these whiskeys, which you can guess the one, is fairly easily accessible. And I'm going to start off with the Dalmore. Now the Dalmore is not a whiskey I would have normally chased after, but this particular whiskey here, their whiskeys are known to be kind of engineered. I don't know if that's a fair thing, disrespectful thing to say to Dalmore, but there are a lot of the 40% whiskeys with lots of coloring, chill filtration. There's a big market for that. That's why they do it, you know. There is a smaller percentage of us that would like to see more like this, where it's a 46.5%. Again, also like to see the non-chill filtering and also no coloring, but I would still accept non-chill filtering and forget about the, you know, I'm not as panicky about the color, as long as they mention there's coloring in it. And so there, that's the Dalmore. Here is a Glenmorangie Reuben, quite a popular whiskey. It's another 46% non-chill filtered, no color added, pretty accessible whiskey. Over here we've got the Glendronach Portwood. Not a lot of information regarding chill filtration or whether color has been added. We do know that it was controversial. There was a review that Ralphie did. He did mention this. He was even approached by the people from Glendronach to explain what was going on with their whiskeys. I did a little presentation on it as well. So, you know, really right now, all I can say is this is 46%. If there is coloring, I think it's very little. The chill filtration, sorry, I just do not have that information. And then you've got the BenRiach, which is the sister distillery to Glendronach, the other Brown-Forman distillery. These were originally Billy Walker distilleries, and then they were sold, his group sold them, of course, to Brown-Forman at a huge profit. Now the BenRiach is a little more unique than the rest of these in that it is actually a triple cask. So the rest of these are double cask, but this one's a triple cask. It is actually the bourbon, sherry, and then the port finish. But I felt for variety, and also because it's easily accessible, the price is right. I have tried it, and you do get some of the port notes in it. So let's make it a player, and then we'll jump over this guy here. We're going to go over here to the Tomatin 14, 46% non-chill filtered, no color added. Another popular whiskey. You'll see it online being reviewed a lot. Then we get back to the elusive Springbank. Now Springbank, it is non-chill filtered, no color added. It is 52.8%. Now, why did I put it on the table? Well, because I felt that, you know, it's a great presentation with the rest of them. Let's compare it. Let's see what Springbank Portwood is all about. A little higher percentage, but I think we can deal with that. The big thing about Springbank is availability. We all know that. The problem is that Springbank does not make enough whiskey for the planet. And what happens is, you went to the Springbank distillery in Campbelltown, you would probably find their prices aren't that bad. But when you're buying it from any whiskey merchant anywhere in the world, suddenly the prices skyrocket. And part of the reason is that they can do that because there's such a demand for it. And they do it. So anyways, there's our whiskeys. Why I didn't review all the whiskeys, I mean, I've got one here. This is a Cragmore, another port finished whiskey. It is a 40% whiskey, so I felt it was just way below what we had here. I was thought about maybe changing it with the BenRiach. No, we're going to stay with what we've got here. I think these are going to give us enough of an idea of what port finishing is all about. Now, why do we do port finish whiskeys? Why are they so popular today? They weren't as popular years ago. We're running out of sherry casks. People aren't drinking as much sherry today. And sherry's being used probably in, commercially more for things like vinegar and that. And we're seeing also more sherry seasoned casks. So the days when they used sherry casks because it was easy to get a sherry cask, and they were getting pretty darn good quality sherry casks. They are struggling today to get good sherry cask, and there's a huge price on a quality sherry cask. And we have so many new distilleries today, and these distilleries are chasing after these casks. So we're going to see, distilleries swinging toward port, Madeira finish, cognac, rum finish. In general, a lot of Bordeaux wines. Cabernet Sauvignon, Sauterne, and so on, because of the fact that your sherry whiskey finishes are costly, and it costs less to finish in a port cask. It's that simple. Okay. So, we talked about all of these whiskeys here. We know that all the ABV, the 46% ABV, is on the Quinta Ruben, the Glendronach, the BenRiach, the Tomatin. We up to 46.5 on the Dalmore, and then we get a 52.8% ABV on the Springbank. Okay. So that's it. Let's get at her. And how we're going to do this, by the way, we're going to put a letter or a number on underneath the glass, and that way we can kind of run through it. We're going to try to get through it fairly fast, because when you drag these things out, your palate is changing. You're going through all the different whiskeys here. Who knows? You're probably feeling the whiskey. And I don't think it's a fair comparison then, especially from the beginning to the end. There is a number under each glass that I can't see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we do have a stack of these chips. And these chips are numbered. The reds are 1, 2. The blues are 3, 4. And of course the whites are 5, 6. And we'll be placing those at the winner of each group. Now, we're going to do this in threes. By the time I get to 6 there, my tongue has been tainted. Maybe I'm going to feel the alcohol a bit. So we're going to do it in threes. We're going to split it up, have a little time, a little water in between, and that way I think we'll give it a more fair shot at it there. So let's get at her, and we'll do our pour. Now, the winner of this batch here will get a chip 1, and I will be recording. I have a piece of paper, and it has it'll have the numbers on it of each of these bottles, because we're going to be mixing these up. Okay, we've mixed these guys all up. Even mix them up some more here, just to confuse myself. But believe you me, my memory's not that great. I'm not going to remember where this stuff is. But I did this well off camera. I did it a few times just to speed things up. I don't want to bore the hell out of you here. So anyways, these are, believe you me, I don't know the numbers. So if I recognize a drink, that's the way it is. Okay, I've got some water in between here. So we're going to start off from the left here. There is a number under this. I do have my chips here, and in case of spillage. Okay, let's get at her. Okay, so I'm not going to make a lot of comments along the way here, but I will know the first three. I'm going to separate these because it's going to be the first three. So we got through number one there in between. I think is a good idea. So let's do the water. Number one. Okay. That is number one. And well, we'll do it 1, 2, 3, and then these will be the next three here. So I'll put those over there. Let's go at her. Just clear the palette again. Number one. So we'll put a 4 next to number one. Start from this side here. So let's just see what we got. So number one was definitely still number one. This is definitely the number one. So it hasn't changed there. So much. I know it hasn't changed. Number 4, that's the number one there. Okay, these were the winners out of when we split it up into the 3s and 3s. So here we go. Solange. Okay, this is it. And I'm going to leave that one there, 4 and 1 there. So looking at taking a peek at the numbers here, 5 and 3. So 3 is the winner and 5 is number 2. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the next here out of these 4 here, and I'm going to go, this shouldn't take too long. So I've drank these before, I've reviewed them, you know, and this is just having a little fun, and these are all good whiskeys, by the way. This is just a personal favorite. That's all it is. Just a personal favorite amongst these, okay? So let's go at these guys now. Okay. what we've got here is this guy here is going to be number 3. So there's our top 3, and he is number 4. Number 4. So the rest of these are very close. I would say probably this guy here, number 2, I think there. So anyways, what I'm going to do, I'll get my list here and we'll read them off, which one. So you know, one of the things you have to remember when I'm doing this, I'm not doing the development. I'm not doing the finish. I'm not nosing. It would be a long, involved process. This is a quick reference. Sometimes that's as good as it gets. Sometimes you only get a few sips on something. But we came out, my understanding here was this guy here is the winner. That was the Glendronach Portwood. And this guy here was number 2. And I think I'll just sort of do it like this here. So that was number 1. And this guy here was number 2. And that was the 5 there. And that was the cheater. That was the Springbank Portwood. That's the Glendronach, and then the Springbank there. And then of course the next one here. And that one, but a bit of a surprise there because that was the number 4. And believe it or not, that was the Dalmore. I'm a little surprised on that one there. But it was number 4. And the argument here was this one here was the next one. And of course that's the BenRiach. Remember, the BenRiach was a triple cask, okay? So we'll go there. And it might change on a different date. You know how this works. And then these last 2, we have the Quinta Reuben here. I'm pretty sure that was the Quinta Reuben. Yeah, that's the Quinta Reuben, number 1. And then, of course, that was an argument between the Quinta Reuben and the Tomatin. And you know what? In all fairness, these last 3, they could have been reversed. These are all good whiskeys, by the way. Okay? They're all good whiskeys. So, anyways, so that's the order of things there as we went through it. There was Glendronach. We had the Springbank, surprise, Dalmore. So remember, folks, this was for fun. I'm certain some of you might be a little critical on I kind of rushed through it and that. But again, if we'd drawn this out any longer, who knows? I might be drunker. Certainly, I think it does affect the longer you and I, you know, it has a lot to do with the person's tolerance to alcohol. Has a lot to do with your size. But the bottom line is, I felt by going through it a little bit faster, I'm going to give it a more fair review. This is my own personal opinion, my own personal taste. These were all good whiskeys, by the way. I was just going to have a little fun with them and just see which one came out on top. So basically, I am going to finish off by, if you did enjoy this, please give us a like and don't be afraid to subscribe to this channel. And I am going to ask you to drink wisely, drink intelligently, and do not drink and drive until the next time. Slàinte.